Yo, it's 11:11, man. What does that mean? Is that a good omen? Is that what they say is a good omen? You know what I'm saying? Let me know in the chat, guys. I'm getting our other you know what I mean, platforms on here, but YouTube, if y'all can hear me and see me this lovely Sunday morning, man, type one in the chat. If my audio's good, man. If my ones and twos, my threes and fours, if my audio's good, type one in the chat. Black man says, "What up, fish? Greetings." I didn't know I was a fish. Why am I a fish? You know what I'm saying? What does that mean? Is that a good thing? You know what I mean? Does that mean I flow like water? Is that what that means? Jenna, what up? What's popping? Greetings, greetings. Welcome to the live, guys. I'm just getting ready to put our free resource of the day into the chat, man. We're gonna continue to add value to you guys, give you guys my full in-depth system on how to lose fat, build muscle, keep it off. We're gonna give you the free master class, man. It's the master class. It's basically the blueprint that I use to lose 50 pounds, 5 months, keep it off, teach it to thousands of people now. Just gonna give it to you guys, man, just for pulling up, man. So the link to that is pinned to the top of the chat. And let's wish Jenna's cat happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? Jenna's cat happy. Is this a real cat or a metaphorical cat? You know, because some people some people call certain body parts that they have cats, right? So you got to be specific. Is this a real cat? If it is a real cat, what's the cat's name so we can wish that cat happy birthday. You know what I mean? Um, all right. TikTok, what up? Greetings. You guys can hear me and see me. Type one in the chat, man. Type one in the chat. What up? What up? What up? What up? What's goody? Um, we got Okay, so Jenna's real cat, his birthday is named Ivy. Let's give a birthday shout out to Ivy, man. You know what I'm saying? Not to be confused with Poison Ivy from Batman. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the cats out here, you know, living another life. You know, the streets say they got 9 lives, but I don't know if that's true or not. Guys, type in the chat on TikTok, y'all. If y'all can hear me and see me, type one in the chat. What's popping? What's goody? What's goody? What up? Black man says, "Can you say mangoes?" I just did. I just did say mangoes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's benefiting anybody. Me saying anything about mangoes, but I did. Salim, what up? Tom Zubak was popping. Jonathan, what up? Thick Once came in the chat. That's a good name. Can you say Worcestershire? Like Worcestershire, like the city? I thought it was called Worcester. Jonathan says, "How you doing? I'm doing stupendous, brother. Thank you for asking. Welcome to the live, guys. Where y'all from, man? Let me know who we got in the building, man. Type in the chat. Rep your city. Uh, thick, thick once is not the name. It's thick like Beyonce. Man, you gotta love black people, man. We are a creative bunch, ain't we? She made her name Thickance. That is great. Greetings from Estonia, Tallinn. Estonia was popping. Where is Estonia? Do I need to get outside more? I ain't never heard of Estonia. Who else we got in the building, man? What other cities we got up in here? Oh, Thickance sending me like ice cream cones on TikTok. Y'all know you can send like stickers and shit on TikTok. She's sending me like ice cream cones. That's great. I actually am a bit hungry. I'm gonna eat me some food after this. What do you think of Sydney Sweetie American Eagle ad? I don't even know who Sydney Sweeney is. Who is that? Can you guys in the chat let me know who Sydney Sweetie is? What do you look for? Oh, damn, I don't even know. Richmond, Virginia's in the building. Yo, Richmond, what up? Well, stand up. My man's trampoline girl says hello from England. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Ashton Howard says, I lost 37 pounds from listening to your advice. Let's clap it up for Ashton. Ashton out here losing weight. Guys, if you want to lose weight like Ashton, go ahead, grab that free master class. I dropped it in the chat for you guys over there in YouTube land. I don't know how to drop free content into the chat on TikTok yet. Maybe y'all TikTok people can teach me. but yeah, hey, Ashton out here losing weight with some of my methods, man. So if you want to be like Ashton, go grab that free master class. Trampoline Girl says 110th Street by Bobby Womack is a great song. Who is Bobby Womack? Is Bobby Womack a rapper? Who is that? Um, Yo, Hughes Marcus says you have a podcast. No, I do not. I do not have a podcast. Should I start a podcast? Right? If you would like to hear Cory Armstrong Fit on a podcast on a regular basis, give me a flex emoji in the chat. Raw Nature says, what's up with you, yo? Hey, living a stupendous life. You know what I'm saying? Living a stupendous life. Scorpion King says, love your fitness advice. Yo, I like the movie that you had, the Scorpion King movie. I think that was a solid movie with The Rock in it. How's the weather where you live at? The weather's stupendous, right? I live in Florida, South Florida to be exact. It's pretty much always summertime, right? It's great. Give me the best shoulder exercise. The best shoulder exercises, I would say the two best are Arnold presses and overhead barbell press. Those are two movements where you can take the shoulder through its entire range of motion and you can build a lot of strength in both. Strength translates to more muscle growth. More muscle growth leads to a more impressive and functional physique, as well as, you can lose more fat if you got more muscle because muscle burns calories at rest. Did you say who is Bobby Womack? Yes, I did. Who is Bobby Womack? Would the chat like to let me know who Bobby Womack is? That's what somebody just put in the chat over here. Lucas says, hey, greetings. What's going on, Lucas? Bi apto c. Okay, somebody speaking another language. Greetings. Jamie Newstead says, hey, Australia. What up, Australia? What they be saying? I know they got kangaroos out there. So do they say cheers, mate, over there too? Or is that just London? Lucas says, I have a question. Why do people do that on the lives? You know you can just ask your question and I can answer it, right? You know that's why I'm here. N says, you gonna skip my comment? Nope, I didn't even see it. It's a lot of comments coming through, my brother. You can type it again though. Bobby Womack is a blues singer. Hey, thank you for the education. I didn't even know, but now I know. Shout out to Bobby Womack singing the blues. The master plan says, good morning, everybody. Top of the morning. Greetings. Talon says, old school. How do I get my bench up? You bench press more frequently, right? I think one of the most overlooked ways to just add more weight to the bar is to practice the exercise more days a week. One of the things that I think people fall into the trap of is doing just like high volume training too much. Like they relying on like these programs these bodybuilders put out who essentially have elevated hormones, right? A lot of them are on steroids, so they get the benefit of what's called muscle protein synthesis all week, right? So when you break down a muscle, you initiate the process of muscle protein synthesis, which is basically your body just taking protein from foods and just making new muscle for you, bigger, stronger, more resilient muscle, right? So when you train a muscle, you initiate that process. For naturals, it lasts like 48 to 72 hours. So you should be training your muscles or your bench in this case every 48 to 72 hours. So every 2 to 3 days, you should be doing bench again if you want to see the max growth from it. The problem is if you're taking advice from bodybuilders, when you injecting hormones in yourself, you get muscle protein synthesis all week, right? So you don't have to live by the same principle of 2 to 3 days of frequency. Hopefully that's helpful, man. Just do bench more days a week. I'm on. I'm the only one that's 5'7" in my family. Um, There's nothing wrong with that, man. You could be short. Like for example, me, I I basically was like I'm fortunate enough to be in my family. Like I'm like average height. You know what I'm saying? I'm 5'10". My grandma though, she was tall as fuck. She was 6'2". You know what I'm saying? And I ain't getting none of that. I ain't getting none of that height, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have. But yeah, man, you know, genetics play a factor. You just got to work with what you got. How do you burn fat without cardio? Calorie deficit. That's actually the only way to burn fat is calorie deficit. Can you get ripped by lifting tries instead of weights at home if you don't have weights? Lifting tries? What are you talking about? What's a try? How you gonna lift a try? Is that supposed to say trees? Like a lumberjack? You a motherfucking lumberjack, bro? What you talking about? You seen Dana White crunch machine and what you think? Nah, I ain't seen Dana White's crunch machine. Um, yeah, I don't. Oh, lifting tires. Oh, yeah. I mean, tires is it's a weight. It's resistance. It's free weight. So you can get strength, but the thing is, without free weights that are like specifically designed for strength training, you can't isolate the muscles in certain ways that you would be able to if you had that. So you won't have like specific muscle growth in particular area. Like for example, I ain't never seen nobody do a bench press with a tire. You know what I'm saying? So like, what's the benefit of doing a bench press? Like we were just talking about with my man, where you're stimulating growth in your chest predominantly, and then your secondary muscles, which is your anterior deltoid, front delts, right? For you guys who are new to, you know, motherfucking body part language, and then your triceps, right? So when you're doing this motion, you're getting more stimulation, isolated stimulation to your chest, your shoulders, and your tries. I don't know if there's movements you could just do that with tires, right? Like, yeah, you can incorporate your chest when doing a big movement where you're pushing a tire, but it's not isolating those muscles the same. So it's not ideal if you want to have like an aesthetic, you know, where certain muscles stand out more than others. But if you just want to be strong and functional, sure, you can just like lift tires and shit. You know, that's fine. What are you training for the army, bro? Like, why are you lifting tires? Maintaining weight is so boring. Bulking and cutting is the move. Okay. Michael Robinson. Can you see grow with compound movements? Absolutely. Those are the best movements to grow with because you incorporate the most muscle fibers and you can actually increase strength the most because you're using the most muscles. So yes. Corey, sir, last time you had ignored me. I hope that shouldn't be a repeat. Man, some of you guys are taking this shit too personal, man. You gotta chill out. Like, it's right. It's a few dozen people on this fucking live, man. You're not the only one commenting. If I didn't answer your question, just type it again, bro. Like, you ain't gotta be mad, right? You ignored me, like like that tells me that the paradigm of your life, you feel like that you're entitled to somebody doing something for you. And that entitlement is actually hurting you, right? Because the world don't owe you shit. Like I don't owe you shit. Don't nobody owe you shit. You know what I'm saying? So like the more you hold on to that entitlement, the more you actually hurt yourself, right? Entitlement is evil, guys. It will leave you frustrated, discouraged, depressed, lonely. Like you'll be in a perpetual cycle of just toxicity, and it's all formulated around what you believe you deserve. When in reality, you don't deserve nothing but what you got, right? So, guys, I encourage you, let go of your fucking entitlement. It is keeping you where you at. It's keeping you mediocre, average, fat, broke. It's keeping you like with a life that most people never ever get out of, right? You want something better, you gotta behave in a way drastically different than how you behave now. And I think that first step is realizing that, man. Everything you got is a result of everything you've done. So if you want something more, you gotta do different things, man. You gotta look at life different. Can you work out without using gym equipment? Yes. Thoughts on Twinkies? They're overrated. And Twinkies are probably some of the. I think they're like, if you're looking at Hostess products, right? Like the quality of the flavor, right? Because I'm a retired fat boy. If y'all don't know my story, I used to be fat as hell. I lost 50 pounds in 5 months, and now I teach it to people, right? I used to fuck with like Hostess cakes and shit, man. I used to fuck with honey buns, donuts, all ho hos, all that shit. The snowball one, whatever they call that. I think Twinkies is like in the. It's probably like in the like. It's like a C tier Hostess cake. It's not that good, but it's not that bad. It's okay. Do you have a fitness team or is it just you? I have a team. I have a full team, man. I coach too many people now to just be doing it myself. And you know, I'm at a stage in my life, guys, where my life is pretty fucking dope, right? I got, millions of followers with all the platforms combined, right? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You count it all up, it's over 1 million, right? And then on top of that, I've helped a few thousand people, right? Change their lives. Fantastic. My company does 6 figures a year every year. It's great. I got great family, got a great girlfriend, I got good friends. My life is pretty fucking dope. Right now, I'm at that stage in my life where I want to bring some people with me. Right, I want some people to level up with me. So in order to do that, I have to create a system where people can come in and be a part of things and processes that are already working, and then they can work towards bettering themselves within it. So that's what I've created in my community. We call it the Armstrong Army, right? All my team members have gone through the program. They all got great transformations, and now they help my clients transform too. Right? If you guys want to learn more about that, we talk about it in the free master class. Go check that out. How would you build your online fitness business from scratch? I started with mentorship, man. I believe in the principle that is spoken about at length in this book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People from Stephen Covey. If you've never read this book and you want to be like serious about business growth, entrepreneurship, like being more productive, being a better individual, this is a required reading, I believe. There's a concept in this book. It's called define, learn, do. So essentially, this is what I base all my life principles off of. Define what you want out of life, learn from somebody who's accomplished it, and just do what they did, right? And so that's what I looked at when it came to like my online fitness business. I just defined what kind of business I wanted, right? How I wanted to help people, what kind of life I wanted to have, what kind of lifestyle. I learned from somebody who had those results, and then I just did the work relentlessly, and I never stopped. Right? You guys are doing that right now by being on this live, by the way. Right? You've defined, hopefully, what your clear goal is, whether it's a certain amount of fat loss, a certain amount of muscle growth, or body fat percentage. You have a clear goal, an end destination for what you want your health and fitness and lifestyle to actually look like. You're learning from me. I have the results with that shit, or I've taught it to, again, like I said, thousands of people, right? And then now it's your job to do the work, right? You just have to do the principles that are laid out either in this live or the free masterclass I'm giving y'all, the free guides that I give out. You guys can like practice those things and then you'll get the results, right? And then it's like give that back. You guys be that beacon of light for somebody else. If that was helpful information, give me a thumbs up in the chat. Uh, should you eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, or just eat when you're hungry? I don't believe in pre-established times to eat. I think it's bullshit. I think what's best is to just focus on like total calories for the day and the macronutrients within it. So like sometimes I eat one meal a day and I just get all my protein, the max amount of protein I can in that one meal. You know, that's my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Like the, So I think I think the all the like standardized ways that you eat is marketing bullshit basically. Like breakfast is essentially a marketing scheme. Y'all know that, right? Breakfast is whatever, like breakfast food is a category that was created by the food industry in America to sell very cheap to create foods to people, right? So like for example, all those cereals that got some of y'all fat as hell, they those ain't made in nature. Like they created those in a lab in a factory, right? And they created them because they could use like really cheap resources like corn and wheat to just put it in the concentrated sugary bundle for you motherfuckers and tell you that you supposed to eat this at breakfast because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Based on what? Based on nothing. They just made that shit up. It's not the most important meal of the day. You don't have to eat cereal and eggs and bacon for breakfast, right? But the industry told you that you should. So that's why we associate those things with breakfast. Really, breakfast is whatever you break your fast with. Break a fast. It's in the name. Like I eat like steak and salmon for breakfast a lot of the time. So yeah. What meal number is that cat? Meal number cat. I don't know what that means. Chris Productions has a picture of Sonic the Hedgehog. He says hello. What up? Sonic man is the man. I stopped drinking sugary soda since October, and it completely caused. That was a drug. Yeah, it's one of the worst drugs out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Is whey protein good for you? From Walmart, the six brand. Whey protein is whey protein, man. It's. I don't think it's. I don't think it's that bad or that good. I think it just is, right? It's fine. It's just powdered food. Is it better than chicken breast, steak, and salmon? Nah. The less processed, the better. But can you still get good nutritional value from it? Yeah. Mateo says hi. Greetings. How long have you been training? Technically, I've been training others for 9 years, but I started getting consistent with my fitness journey in 2015. So I'm gonna say 10 years because I was my first client, right? I think I told you guys I lost 50 pounds in 5 months, right? I was my first transformation. So we just gonna call it a decade, 10 years. I know a retired baddie when I see one. Me too. I know some retired baddies, man. Shout out to them. How many times should I eat a day if I'm 50 pounds overweight? There is no magic number of times that you eat a day, Anthony. You just need to be in a calorie deficit. You can do that eating one meal a day or 5 meals a day. It's just about total calorie intake by the end of the day. Are you gonna? Are you gotta be jacked up with big muscles? Life 222. I don't know what you asking. AAA says full course meal. Okay, whatever that fucking means. Rodriguez says, thank you for answering my question, brother. No problem, man. I'm glad I can help. Chris Production says, how? I don't know. Oh, how do I get shredded? Uh, you got to be in the calorie deficit, lift weights, stay consistent, get 6 to 8 hours of sleep, drink a gallon of water a day. If you need a system like proven to work, that's been working for the past decade, you can go to the link in my bio and grab the free fat loss system that I teach my clients with that work for me too. How do I get motivated? You know, you can try to take some drugs and get motivated, but like motivation is not the key to success. If that's what you're asking, like motivation is it's an emotion. It comes and goes, right? So like inevitably you're gonna reach a point of not being motivated, and you have to rely on something that's more powerful than motivation, which is discipline. Discipline is how any substantial success or change actually occurs, right? Nobody fucking does anything great being motivated the whole time. It doesn't exist. Anybody who told you different is lying to you, right? Or maybe it's a belief you formulated. You look at people like me or like others and be like, man, they so motivated. When in reality, nah. Like most days, I don't want to go to the gym, but I do it. Why? Because it's a standard, and I'm disciplined to follow my standards. It's just like taking a shower. You're not always motivated to take a shower, but that shit is a standard for you. Why? Because you don't want to stink, right? Don't nobody like stinky motherfuckers, right? So, in order to function in human society with other people, you got to wash your ass, right? It don't take motivation to do it though. It's a discipline. It's what you do. Same thing with going to your motherfucking job. Some of y'all don't like your job. I love what I do, right? I work for me. I don't love every part of it. Sometimes it's like dark days where I'm like, fuck, man, this is tough. But like, I overall love what I do. But am I motivated every day to get up and do it? No, right? I just do it because it's a standard for me to do it, to serve people in this way. Same thing with your job, right? How many days a week are you motivated to go to work, right? It don't matter because you go anyway because it's a standard to have a roof over your head and food on your motherfucking table, clothes on your back. It's a standard, right? And that standard requires you to stay disciplined with the things that need to happen and require that minimum standard be met. So that's why you go to work, right? That's why you go to work. It's the same thing with lifting weights and eating right, man. You have to create standards. We're looking at yourself in the mirror, how you look right now, that shit has to become unacceptable, right? If you got a big stomach, right, you out here gasping for air, walking up the stairs, you wearing t-shirts at the pool because you ashamed of them man titties, right? You out here just, you winning at other areas in your life. Maybe you got money, maybe you got a great family, maybe you're the leader, in your business, right? But you look like a beach whale. You out here looking like melted ice cream. You don't look respectable. In the back of your mind, you know it, right? That has to become unacceptable for you to change it. So it's about discipline, man. Fuck that motivation shit. Guys, if that was helpful information, go ahead, drop a flex emoji in the chat. Nick Mars says, is this AI, artificial intelligence? Sure, I guess I'm AI. Everybody thinks everybody's AI, right? What's up with that shit, man? What's up with everybody thinking everything's AI? What's the recommended miles per hour and time length to walk on the treadmill? There is no recommended, bro. Just chase your heart rate. Like put your hands on them handles, or wear like a wearable that tracks your heart rate, like a Fitbit or Apple Watch or a Garmin or Ring or Whoop, and then just look for a target heart rate. Right when you're doing cardiovascular training, and you want to do it for like potential fat burn, right? You want to put yourself in that state where your body will use glucose and potentially fat for energy. You want to keep it like zone 2, zone 3, and the heart rate zone for that is somewhere around, we'll just say 100 to 140 beats per minute, right? So whatever miles per hour gets your heart to that rate, that's the recommended for you if that's your goal. If your goal is cardio, right? You got a motherfucking marathon or a 5K coming up, you want to get your cardio up, then you want to go above 140 beats per minute on the treadmill. So chase the heart rate, don't chase miles per hour. How many steps do you walk a day? At least 10,000. They're using AI in criminal court now to ad libs and stuff. Hey, that's funny. Yo, AI is getting pretty advanced pretty quickly, man. I seen some stuff with AI. I'm like, man, I hope you guys keep educating yourself because some of y'all gonna end up getting replaced by robots. I've been with a girl for a long time, been big, always. I'm losing weight. I feel like I'm cheap with these new attention from girls. Um, well, what makes you think that like getting new attention is going to automatically lead to cheating? That sounds like you're dealing with some type of internal belief about like your ability to stay consistent, right? Like that doesn't make sense to me. Like if you've been with a girl and then you get a new attention from other girls, if you're satisfied with your relationship, why would you cheat? It makes no sense, right? It's like if you have everything you want, right? That's like being at a table and you just ate a whole meal and you're full and somebody brings more food over. Why the fuck would you eat again if you're full? Right? So it sounds like there's something going on with you mentally where you don't think you have enough of what value you're supposed to be getting from that relationship. Will says AI is scary. Hey, sometimes, man. Anthony Darty, do you do personal plans that I can follow? I will pay and stay consistent. Anthony Darty, I do. But here is the caveat: I do not work with everybody, right? The only people I work with that get success, them transformations y'all may see on my page, they've lifted weights before, right? They also are definitely committed, not lazy, consistent, like you said, but also too, they know their way around technology because it's all online. So if you don't know how to use your motherfucking phone or you ain't got a laptop, don't even worry about applying, right? You got to get through those barriers first. But if you are committed, you are willing to, go outside your comfort zone, and you are somebody who has, lifted weights before, you just need more structure, you can apply to become a part of the Armstrong Army. You just go to that free masterclass link. After you watch the masterclass, you can apply too. There's an opportunity to do that. Would love to have my team chat with you, Anthony. See if we can help. My man said eggs is all the protein you need. Uh, I don't know if I would agree with that. Eggs has some great nutritional benefits. A lot of things that other foods don't have, but you can't get a significant amount of protein in one egg. Like for example, I eat somewhere around like 180 grams of protein a day, right? That's relative to my body weight. And man, you know how many eggs I would have to eat alone just to get to 180 grams of protein? It'd be like 18 eggs. Because one egg is like somewhere between 8 to 10 grams of protein. That's crazy. Nobody's eating that many fucking eggs, man. So it's like more than just eggs. Does incline on the treadmill help lose weight? If so, how much of an incline needed? Raul Jr., there is no set incline for weight loss, man. Weight loss is a product of calories in versus calories out. So you have to burn more calories than you consume. Calorie deficit is the name of the game. You can walk all fucking day on an incline and the bench. And if your diet is trash, if it's not on point, it doesn't matter. So that takes precedence over everything. Once you have a clear indication of what your caloric deficit should be for you, then you would just, if I were you, I would just focus on that first, and then maybe scale your incline, chasing a heart rate, as I was just explaining to my man over here, of somewhere between 100 to maybe 140 beats per minute. That incline is going to vary, right? So, like depending on your conditioning, like how good your cardiovascular health is, 5 incline at like 3 speed could get you there, or 10 incline. You might be really conditioning. You might need a 10 incline or 15 incline, right? You might be really good shape. And you need more incline. It just depends on the person. Like my man Will says, what's the ideal body weight for someone who's 5'6"? There is no ideal body weight, right? The motherfucking doctor is gonna tell you that it's BMI, body mass index, is like the gold standard, but like the gold standard is based off what? Height, age, right? And you know what I'm saying? Like that principle doesn't take into account your composition. So how much of you is muscle versus fat versus water, bones, all that stuff, right? So I think there is no ideal height. There's an ideal body fat percentage, right? You want to take into account the percentage of body fat that you have. For men, anything south of 15% is typically good, right? Because that's when you're optimal in terms of like hormone health. And most guys start seeing their abs somewhere between like 8 to 12% body fat, right? You got to have really, really thick abs to be able to see them at higher body fat percentages than that. For women, it's going to be somewhere between like 20 to 25% body fat is good for women, you know. Uh, Thick Say says, "Can you see my comments?" I can, but these comments are coming fast, so I apologize if I missed it. Brown Girl B says, "I'm 50, can't control my carb cravings. This tends to keep me bloated." Brown B Girl, sounds like you got some limiting beliefs around your capabilities. Can't is a self-defeating statement, right? Not willing to is more inclined with what you've been doing, because cravings are just a side effect of malnutrition. You're just not giving your body the proper nutrients. I guarantee this: if you were eating at least your lean body mass in protein every day, right? Whatever that is for you, that amount of protein every day, 30 grams of fiber every day, and at least a gallon of water every day. If you were having those things every day, like, you would have no cravings, zero, right? I don't get cravings ever because I do that shit, right? So you either misinformed, you didn't know that till just now, or you just not willing to do the work. So it ain't that you can't, it's just that you believe that you can't, right? But if you believe that you can't, then you never will. So you gotta change that language, man. Either say I'm not willing to, or I'm gonna start doing this shit. Is low caffeine and lower dose pre-workout good for teens? Caffeine tolerance is individual, so it's like there's no pre-established recommendation for age group, if that's what you're asking. What workout should I do at home if I'm going to start wrestling specific training? Like, I've never wrestled, and I've never trained a wrestler. I've trained former wrestlers, but not somebody for the sport of wrestling. So that's not something I specialize in, man. To be honest with you. But generally speaking, if you look at what things lend themselves best to wrestling, things that, make sure that you have a strong core, because you're gonna be using your core a lot, moving around somebody, right? Things where you can, move weight forward, right? Kind of that sagittal plane. So maybe like pressing type movements, squatting, lunging, presses forward and up. And I think things that like really incorporate your grip strength a lot more, your forearms, maybe rolls and pull-ups and curls and stuff like that could translate to it. But that's just generally speaking my knowledge around biomechanics and strength, not wrestling specific training. I'm sure there's more stuff you can learn from like a wrestling coach that could like really translate best to your sport. What do you think about Turkish stone? Turkish stone is cool. It's good. It has some science, some studies that says it will help naturally boost testosterone levels. Turkish stone is good. I'm on the Turkish stone cycle right now. I give y'all more insight on my experience after, give it 12 weeks. Uh, it's like week 3, so like 9 more weeks. Bro, my problem is time and information. Just wanted to say thanks for the information. It's hard to hear, but I appreciate it. Anthony Darty, listen, man, everything in life is relative to what you're comparing it to. So if you think like time, you think information, you think those things are like difficult for you, right? They will be difficult for you the more that you focus on how difficult they are. But what if you believe that you were better, right? What if you thought to yourself, like, this shit's hard, but like I go hard, right? Like I'm the type of man that, is willing to do whatever it takes, or I'm the type of man that figures shit out. When you start telling yourself a different story, you'll start to behave differently, right? So it sounds like right now you're telling yourself a story that's, buying into limiting beliefs. And we don't, as humans, we don't believe what we see our beliefs, right? Like we filter out information based off what we focus on. So like, think about the car you drive, guys. Before you drove that car, you felt like, man, you don't see it. But now that you drive it, you feel like that car is following you. It's everywhere, right? Why is that? That's because your brain is only focused on that. So if you keep telling yourself like you ain't got time, right, or you don't know what to do, then all you're gonna do is see reasons to support that belief, right? So it's like, if you change that belief, you change everything. What if you believe you could figure this shit out? Like, what if you believe that you had the hours, you just have to plan them better, right? What if you started to believe that the information is out there, you just have to get it? Or, people hire me, right? Like, I did it for 10 years. Why would somebody pay me for, think about this. Why would somebody pay me for some information they can find on the internet for free? Why would they do that? Anybody in the chat know? It's because of time, right? Money gives you the one thing that you cannot get back, and that's time, man. Right? That's why people go to college. Why would you pay a professor for some shit you can find on the internet? It's because they didn't practice that shit for decades, man. They can encapsulate it all in a controlled manner to where you don't have to become a research expert. That's why people pay me. They be like, "Oh shit, you got 10 years of experience, bro? Like, I don't want to stay fat 10 years, man. Here you go." Right? So it's like, if you start to believe different, man, you'll start to see different pathways and opportunities, guys. That's my whole summary of that thing. My bad for the tangent. Corey, I'm down 30 pounds in 7 months, but I have vacations in 5 weeks, and I want to cut down another 5 to 10 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds. My bad. Any advice? Um, yeah, man. Listen, whatever you've been doing is working. So if you see what's working, you can just do more of it. 30 pounds in 7 months is kind of slow. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's kind of a snail's pace compared to my clients, right? Like I don't know how fat you were, like so you might not be had to lose that much fat, but like my clients, for example, lose 8 to 12 pounds a month. So just say like 10 pounds a month on average, right? So that 10 to 15 you're talking about, like you can lose that this month if you go aggressive. What's the formula for that? You might be asking. This is what I give my clients. You got to find your calorie deficit number. We usually base it off BMR. You can go find that on the internet right now, right? For your BMR, all you need is your age, your height, your weight, and it'll generate for you. You can find it on ChatGPT, or you can go to like a free Google resource. There's a BMR calculator on there, right? So you get that number, you subtract like 200 to maybe 300 calories from it. You put that into a macro ratio that's assigned to your lifestyle. I usually give my clients like 40, 30, 30. That's 40% protein, 30% carbs, 30% fat, right? So then you do that shit, get you at least a gallon of water a day, right? Get like 30 grams of fiber, like I was just telling Shorty, who says she got cravings, and make sure you hit your macros that you just found with those numbers, right? And then what's gonna happen is you're gonna lose some weight. So the first week you might lose, like, depending on what your deficit was before, you might lose like, I don't know, 2 to 5 pounds, right? Let's say you lost two. All you got to do now is do a 24-hour fast once a week with that deficit, and then the next 4 weeks after that, you should lose another like 8 to 10 pounds. Right, guys, if that was helpful information, man, drop a flex emoji in the chat. If you want more tactical shit like that, like I can give y'all more tactics type stuff. But that's all you gotta do to lose that 10 to 15 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Just give me a shout out, once you hit your vacation weight. You know what I'm saying? Crystal Brady says, I missed something. You ain't missed nothing. You here at the party, man. That's all that matters. What do you think about fat burners? I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Brown Girl B, I don't have a lot of weight to lose. I am more skinny fat. Damn, Brown Girl. Why you skinny fat? I'm gonna tell you why you skinny fat. Cause you got them little baby muscles. You ain't lifting no weights, and you under consuming protein. You barely eat any protein, and therefore your body got small muscles, and you hold a lot of fat. You reverse that. Start strength training multiple days a week, 3 to 6 days maybe, right? Maybe 4 to 6, right? 4 to 6 days of strength training, and then you combine that with like getting your lean body mass and protein. Maybe use that formula that I just laid out, and shit, you fuck around and you gain some muscle maybe in a deficit. If you a beginner, you get enough protein in, you hitting the weights, and you start to see some fat come off too. How can you grow taller naturally? You just gotta wait on it, man. I think that's genetic. Eddie R says, "What up, Corey? Hey, greetings." When Zay says, "When the last time you eat a bag of chips?" It's been a while. I don't really fuck with chips like that. I do. You know what? I take that back. I fuck with the chips from Chipotle whenever I do like a Chipotle cheat day. Chipotle is a cheat day for me. Some of y'all be eating that, because you think it's healthy. That shit got a lot of oil and a lot of sodium in it. That's why some of y'all don't never see no results because you out here bloated as hell eating at Chipotle every week. You don't know how to do it the right way. The right way to eat at Chipotle, if you're looking for fat loss, is basically eliminate all the carbs, just go for protein and veggies, right? And then the rest of your day has to be dialed in with high amounts of protein, minimum to moderate carbs and fats. Because if you get it from Chipotle, you're gonna be bloated. All them carbs and sodium together. Give me a good 360, kid. 360. I don't know what you mean by that. Which is the best water to drink? I like alkaline and purified water best. Higher pH, which means it's gonna have better hydration, better absorption for your muscles and cells. Raul Jr., are Quest snacks good to snack on? I mean, listen, I don't really be fucking with snacks a lot, honestly, guys. Like snacks, you know what a snack is? It's an incomplete meal, right? Why eat an incomplete meal when I can eat a full meal, right? That's how I look at it, you know. Um, so I don't look at it from the perspective of what's good or what's bad because that's not really the thing. It's like how does that relate to your whole day of nutrition, right? Like let's say you taking a course, right? Right. Let's say you're in college and you're taking a class, right? If you score low on a quiz, let's just say you get an F on one quiz, is that going to be the determining factor if you fail the whole class? No, it's about all the quizzes, right, in combination, and how you fulfill your obligations on the homework and all that shit behind the scenes. Um, that's what determines if you actually pass that class. So it's like snacks ain't the thing, man. Y'all motherfuckers be thinking snacks is the key. Nah, man, that shit like one quiz. It's not a big deal. Hayes, what's up from the UK, brother? Cheers, mate. What up? What do you eat on the average for the morning? Usually I like steak, salmon, maybe like depending on what my macros is at the time, a carb source. Like after this, probably either gonna have some sweet potato with some salmon and steak, or I'm gonna have like some protein pancakes with like some salmon and steak. Eric Wong says hi, greetings. What's happening? What up? What up? What up? What up? What do you think about Ezekiel toast? It's fine. It's all right. Jeremiah Crocker says big ass belly. Yeah, it be some big ass stomachs out here, man. Scrambled eggs is not a good source of protein. I mean, it's all right, man, but it's not a lot of protein, man. Scrambled eggs, like how many eggs, right? If you're talking about like 2 to 3, you maybe gonna get like 20 to maybe 30 almost grams of protein. That's not a lot for your day. I got to get 180 grams of protein, so I'm not relying on scrambled eggs for protein. It's not that much. I've been fasting for 4 years. I just realized I need to switch it up. Tip for experienced faster. I don't know what your goal is, Sarah. What are you looking to do? You talking about fasting to lose more weight, or you talking about performance, strength? Like, what is your goal? And I can give you a recommendation. How do you know your maintenance calories? You can just go put your stats right now on a BMR calculator. Right? Just Google BMR calculator or ask ChatGPT to find your BMR. It's gonna need your age, height, weight, and goal. Well, maybe not the goal. The goal you'll assess up and down. So it's gonna need your age, height, and weight. And that BMR, your basal metabolic rate, essentially is what your body will maintain without activity in terms of calories. Guys, if this was helpful and you want me to go live again this week, type live in the chat, man. We make it happen. Mr. 615, are you a certified trainer? If so, who did you go through? I'm certified through ISSA. When I got certified, it was actually a company called NCCPT, which no longer exists. They got bought out by ISSA. Um, do you need a certification to be a trainer? Not necessarily, but it does help. All right, y'all. Till next time. Peace. I want it. I want it.